What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is Grassengroom. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Mr. Boat. Mr. Boat shaking things up in game number 4 here. This is the first time I think this entire tournament he's decided to not play. No, he played Kronos. Okay. So he is. He does that. He's a multi-god talent. Multi-god talent here. But we also seen Grassengroom playing his 4th different god this series. What did he play? He played Gaia. He played Isis. He played, what was the last? Ra. And now he's playing Thor. So he's spanned his civilizations across 3 different civs. The only civ he's not played thus far is the Greeks. And we'll see how everything is going to go here for Grass, as we do have the map Alfheim. It is a best of 5. It is the relegations. This is the first stage of the relegations, so the stakes aren't that high. You can still keep your place so long as you win the next game. You basically get a lifeline in the relegations. So that's a thing. And we'll see how it all ends up going here. Meanwhile, relics have been started to uncover on the map. We do have the Ring of Nibelung. And here's the thing. Grass here, he's obviously going to be preparing to play these gods against Odin. So whenever he sees something that's not Odin, he's getting taken out of book just a little bit. So what is he going to be able to come up with here with Thor versus Oranos? Thor versus Oranos, honestly, as opposed to the Odin versus Oranos, Thor, kind of a difficult god. In all honesty, kind of a difficult god to utilize against Oranos. So we'll have to wait and see what Grass has got in store for Mr. Boat. Now Grass does have the knowledge of Oranos or knows the weaknesses of Oranos, so he can abuse those. But what's he going to be able to come up with here is the big question. Mr. Boat, on the other hand, not exactly an Oranos main, so he will be having some difficulties here, or probably not playing Oranos to the nth degree to find himself an advantage here in this game. He did build himself the economic guild. He is getting himself all the resources in this main base. He has done a nice little swap here. I like this. I've seen this by a couple of Oranos players. If you've only got a handful of hunt in your main base and you put your first 2 villagers on it, once you get the next villager out to move up to the move onto the wood, instead of moving the villager that is from the town center onto wood, you can actually move the villager that's on the food over to wood and move this villager to the other hunt to save some walking time. But Mr. Boat does see up here that there's only 2 lots of hunt here, and he is sending even more villagers up here, which I think is a very, very big mistake here from Mr. Boat. Though he can jump onto this wood line here if he so chooses, can move over onto this gold line there as well. But I think it's a big mistake to do that. Probably could have jumped onto the chicken here or onto the berries here, and it would have been completely fine. As you do see the wall finishing up on this location here as well. And both players going to be advancing. We see Forseti coming through for Grass, Prometheus coming through for Mr. Boat. So no surprises where that's concerned. Relics being uncovered here as well. The Canopic Jar of Imseti. We've also got the Blanket of Empress Zoe with the minus 5% building crush vulnerability. And on the top side of the map, we do have the Tusk of the Iron Boar. Really big relic here for the Norse player. You want to keep that away from the Norse player if you're playing as Atlantean, because it's a 10% bonus to the cavalry, which makes raiding cavalry and also Jarls much, much stronger. I didn't mention what this actually does, but it's a reduction in the infantry training time, the Canopic Jar of Imseti there. Not really that important, though. If you're playing as, say, Atlantean here, you can make your Murmillo pop out a little bit faster, which can be a big, big help as well. As Forseti just about to pop here, and we'll see exactly what Grassengroom's plan is, as he's putting walls up everywhere. I quite like these walls with the 3 wall segments around the tower and then a wall to block up onto the forest to prevent the units from running around rampant in in the Thor base. He's only got one more deer left on this position, and he's going to have to move over into the main base. A handful of cows here as well. This is a very, very rough map here for Thor against Atlantean. Generally speaking, there is going to be a little bit more hunt on the map. There are 2 caribou up here, so a total of 4 extra caribou. Yay for hunt on this map. So this is going to be an interesting one, just to see what Grass is going to go for. Whether he goes for a town center or not after this longhouse. He's getting 2 longhouses, so no immediate town center or anything else, just playing inside of his base. These chicken are going to be hard to eat here for Grass. So he's going to have to effectively decide to whether or not to make the trek. The villagers do have a pretty nice line to these berry bushes to be efficient, but they have to decide whether to make the trek to these chicken while it's safe in the early game, or just go into the berries and say probably not going to be eating them at all, as raiding cavalry, they are starting to come through here. And Grass does put up some walls and a house here. This is sort of Age of Empires 2-esque, so to speak. They would drop the walls and the houses behind it to make sure that it's impossible to break through, or not necessarily impossible, but it takes a long time to break through. So it's maybe Grass has played some Age of Empires 2 recently. I don't know. This Terma is starting to come out, and Mr. Boat here is just getting himself his economic upgrades, making sure he's going to be able to have as much economy as he possibly can here. Meanwhile, Grass bringing back this blanket of Empress, so giving himself extra crush armor in his main base will be helping out quite considerably. So we do see the longhouse is now starting to come up as well. And Grass gets to play a very, very nice SimCity type game here. He will be able to get himself watchtowers as well when the units start pushing in. And it's going to be really tough here for Mr. Boat to break through. Now, there is a gap in this forest here. So there is a gap into the main base of Grass and Groom, which Grass is not really aware of, as the units can swing in through here and start attacking the villages there. Now the raiding cavalry coming in onto this position. And it looks like Mr. Boat is kind of gearing up to get a second town center here as the raids are hitting these villages, and Mr. Boat just says he's going to have a little bit of a shanky shank and then pull back into his manor as the raiding cavalry, for the first time in their entire lives, they don't end up getting absolutely massacred on their first raid attempt from the villages that can just turn around and shank them. As Oranos has only got a handful of citizens, they only deal 8 damage per second. So they're not like 7 villages on a gold mine. As Grass retreats back, and now Grass ready to start putting some pressure onto this position. It's 70 population apiece here. As the unit's going to try and defend here, as it does look like Mr. Boat, he's got plenty of units here. He does have to be a little bit careful with his army. As Mr. Boat pulls off of the berry bushes here, pulling back over onto these chicken to try and take this fight, as the first shockwave does come down. This troll is getting some good value here, though, as the catapulties trying to chase down the raiding cavalry on this position. They can do so much damage. So they're still retreating away. The throwing axemen here getting targeted down, but the Terma are also falling quite fast here, as Grass has got 81 population in the bank, and Mr. Boat is just not spending those resources yet again. He needs more production here, it would seem. As the Terma getting brought back, Terma heroes, these units here getting absolutely distracted. Grass's micro, nice job there by Grass to just completely pull Mr. Boat out of position where that's concerned, as Mr. Boat has to pull back into his main base. He's got plenty of cows here, but the pressure has mounted, and Mr. Boat, what else has he got here? He's still trying to pump out those Murmillo here as best as he can, making Terma as well to try and deal with those throwing axemen. There's a couple of units are falling here for Mr. Boat, but Grass and Groom's troll is still getting a lot of value here, as the Hearse are also able to take down those Promethean. And what else can Mr. Boat do here? as Grass is going to be able to pull back. He wins that first fight. He doesn't want to overcommit to this. He does manage to find himself able to target down that hero Terma to keep that troll alive on the back. And the other thing, little known fact about the troll, is it does rejuvenate when it throws its damage, giving himself an extra 25% HP per damage. So if it does 6 damage, it'll get itself back like 1.5 damage or something, or HP. Does the full 12 damage, it'll get a significant amount of HP back. As the man is starting to get taken down, Mr. Boat gets himself the watchtower sitting inside of his base here, trying to get as many citizens out as he can. As Grass's economy here, he's now moving out onto the second gold mine, and this is where things get a little bit scary for the Norse player, because he has lost a lot of HP on fighting, but he's still sitting at the population advantage here. But if Mr. Boat can push out of his base, potentially spend all of that gold on those Prometheans and get himself up to full population here, he can start putting pressure onto this gold mine. The Oracle does spot that there as the citizen moving out onto this gold over on that position there as well. As the raiding cavalry moving over onto this position as well. And we'll see if Mr. Boat can defend here or not. We do see the Tusk of the Iron Boar is being spotted by both players, and we'll see if now that Grass sees that one, if he's going to try and move over and grab it. As the raiding cavalry kind of distracting these units back, Mr. Boat is going to be more than happily moving in to take this fight here. Do we see any armory upgrades here from Grass? Not just yet. No line upgrades here either, as Grass is heading straight up to that full population. Medium infantry going to be coming through here. And this is going to be a good timing for Mr. Boat. If he hits that medium infantry timing to boost those 10 Murmillo, it'll be a nice fight. He does need to take it though. Medium cavalry is going to be coming through here as more units are pushing up onto this position. And this is a nice choke point here for Mr. Boat, you'd have to assume. But those throwing axemen here, taking those damage. The Terma a little bit too far away for some reason here. They can fight on the on this position really, really nicely, as we do see the forest here has blocked this up beautifully as Grass takes this fight, and it does seem like all of his units, with the help of the trolls, doing a lot of damage. There are a couple of hero Terma here going to be able to take out the trolls from afar, as well as the Murmillo do seemingly manage to it looks like most of the Murmillo have fallen, but most of the raiding cavalry have fallen as well, as now the Promethean can push forward and get the damage done, as the Termit can now start targeting down those throwing axemen really, really nicely here. It's 80 population for Grass to 100 population for Mr. Boat, as he does manage to win that fight, and rightfully so. The raiding cavalry just not able to get onto those Terma at all. The fire was coming through more. There was more damage coming through from Mr. Boat than from coming through from Grass and Green there. You'd have to believe. There's a nice little turnaround here for Grass as he pushes the units back, and now the flood can start coming through. Is Mr. Boat still building those Promethean? He needs to continue building Promethean. He's at 800 gold there on that position. Those trolls are going to be a really, really nice help to defend this army, as the Terma here trying to snipe down those units. We do see the medium raiders coming in to take out the Terma there nicely though, and he does manage to take that down, as well as the hero Murmillo. But Mr. Boat can heroize some of those Terma, and he definitely should be doing so to take out the trolls, as the villagers coming through to start shanking, as Grass is desperately trying to hold on to this position, and Mr. Boat in that moment there does decide to retreat back here. Mr. Boat now has got himself 3 of those barracks up. He hasn't built any farms just yet, as he moves forward onto the wolves here, and the caribou obviously that are on this position. Mr. Boat is very adamantly against farming, it seems. As in last game, he didn't want to farm either with the Odin. As we see another counter barracks coming up. A nice counter to those throwing axemen is Cara Ballister, so Mr. Boat can decide to go into those as well. As Grass in his main base, still eating his food, hasn't started farming just yet either. Plow coming in for Mr. Boat as he starts his own farming now as well, as the Cara Ballister is starting to come through. And as always, for you guys playing at home, if you find yourself, and you're an Atlantean player specifically, this also is the case for every other civilization. But if you find yourself with excess resources, one way or the other, what you want to do is you want to take every villager off of that and move it to the closest resource. So if that's wood or food, move it onto those resources. And you can always put it back onto gold later. Always can do so. As we do see these citizens getting caught out of position. Nice play here from Grass and Groom. Going to be attempting to take one of those out. Will indeed be able to do so with the trolls and the citizen as well. As you do see the Kyra Ballister pushing in onto this position. Those trolls getting some good damage done, but Shockwave comes in, pushing them back. The Hero Term are going to be attempting to push in and take those out. There's not really that many raiding cavalry here to deal with this army, as Mr. Boit is going to be able to continue breaking through this, especially with more Kyra Ballister coming in. We do see the raiding cavalry are very well placed here, taking out the Kyra Ballister on the back here, as Mr. Boit has not defended those nicely here at all. Grassgrim is held beautifully at this point with this army, still able to push forward. He's going to be able to push Mr. Boit off of this gold mine as well here, it would seem. As the Promethean is still getting taken down. Grass going to be pulling back here. And we'll see how it all ends up going. More Throw and Axemen coming out. 3 longhouses are up as the villagers here. It seems there's still a handful of villagers here for Grass as he puts those farms down. Doesn't need all of that wood income anymore. Getting himself Hammer Troll here as well. Incredibly strong upgrade. Gives 20% extra pierce damage, 50 plus extra 50 hit points. How much is that in terms of it's not 50% plus 50, it's 50%. 25% extra HP. Is that right? 25% extra HP onto the trolls. So if you've got, I guess if you got 4 trolls and you get Hammer Troll, it starts making it really, really valuable to have the extra Hammer Troll versus an extra troll. Grass and Groom, they also heal themselves even more with the bonus damage that they do. So they just become a real menace to deal with. As Mr. Boit here trying to hold on this position. The Grass is showing that Norse, nothing to be trifled with. The Trolls, nothing to be trifled with. Once they got that boost up to 4 speed, they started becoming really, really useful. As the Throw and Axeman able to take down all these units nicely. We do see the Hersa coming in onto this position, trying to take out the Kyra Ballister and everything else. Mr. Boit here with 70 population. He's got nothing left in the tank here, it seems. No resources here as the gold has dropped down now to 100. He's got 600 food in the bank, but how does he deal with this Norse army? Answer is not easily. As those trolls, so they're just going to continue getting created here. Whenever that 15 favor comes in, he's able to continue taking out those Oranos units. And Mr. Boit here has to retreat away from the wood line. He's sending all of those 11 citizen onto this gold mine now to try and get himself as much gold as he can to rebuild his units. But at what point is he going to be able to fight this army? He kind of needs to get himself Contarius here in a way. So like Hero Contarius and surround those trolls to take them out. Hero Terma can work as well. But even at this point, the Throw and Axemen are going to be dealing with those Hero Terma relatively quickly as one citizen does end up getting taken out. Grass now moving on to this position, going to be looking to take out the citizen here. Does spot this one with the troll and the raiding cavalry. Going to slowly start being able to take out units. More longhouses coming up on this position as Grass says, all right, time to just move my army. Get him off that gold mine. There's so many citizen here. We do see a watchtower coming down for Mr. Boit as he's going to be desperately trying to hold in this game. It's Mr. Boit now at 87 population, trying to get all those units out. Murmillo, Kyra Ballister, Murmillo up on this position. Nothing getting trained out of that one. But the trolls coming in. They're going to kill all of these villagers. There's a world where he doesn't even need to target the army down. He can just go straight after the citizen because he's going to pick them off so fast. We do see one hero, Murmillo, does get created here. He's going to be able to start taking those trolls down a little bit. But we do see immediately Grass just turns around with those throwing axemen to take out the hero Milo there to allow those trolls to continue getting damage done. The trolls also able to take down the Kyra Ballister pretty quickly there as well, as the troll does manage to live here. And now it's going to be able to keep itself alive as well by throwing those stones. Look at the HP it goes back up. It goes 12, 16, 17, 13, 10. Back up, and it's now still staying alive. And Mr. Boit still at 80 population. Grass still at 110 population, taking the citizen down. Mr. Boit has got nothing left here. Still trying to get this watchtower up, but it's not going to be enough. Even if he gets that up, there's still too much population here for Grass and Groom. There's another villager getting cleaned up. The troll retreating back. Haraballas are coming in to try and take out those units here. But the villagers diving into that tower. There's units up on this top gold mine. There's no other gold income here for Mr. Boit. He does have 490 gold in the bank, but it's just not enough here as he retreats away, trying to figure out how he can survive here in this game. But the trolls, they're just so absurdly strong here. This one troll looks like it will get taken down by the tower. Win for Atlantean. As another citizen does fall. And more units streaming in for Mr. Boit, but he's just got nothing left. And in that moment, Mr. Boit does decide to tap out. As Grass and Groom shows a way forward here for Thor. I really like the idea of just making trolls against Atlantean. What can Atlantean do? Stymphalian birds don't work because the trolls can shoot up. Satyr don't work. You basically have to get to the heroic age here. A really, really interesting game from Grass and Groom. And Mr. Boit just can't work it out. Obviously, he's not an Atlantean main, so maybe this doesn't work against the better Atlantean players, but definitely someone to give a go from the Thor players who are struggling in this matchup. Go Forseti and make yourself trolls and enjoy the game. Really well played here by Grass and Groom. Wins the series 3-1. Mr. Boit's going to have to fight for his place in Champions League after all is said and done, as he goes into the next stage of the relegations, and Grass and Groom is now safe. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.